All right, so the first feature isn't really part of the app. It's before you open the app, but I just thought it was really cool and I thought some people didn't know about it. So if you go to the app, instead of just tapping on it and opening up the app like normal, what we could do is we could do a long press on it and then it'll open up this menu. So we get a couple of options. We get the track that we are currently playing up here. We have the ability to load the next song. We can load a song, and then we have the ability to switch to the next song. And then we could also start an auto mix. And up here we have access to our files. So this could come in handy if you're doing a gig or you're DJing and you have to do something else on your iPad. Maybe you got an email about another gig coming up or something else is going on, you're using other apps on the iPad while you're DJing, you could quickly just set an auto mix and then you could do some stuff with the app without having to open up the whole app. And I just think it's really cool, and I thought a lot of people wouldn't have known about it. So now the next one I'm going to talk about is when we open the app here, if we go over here to the middle button, over here is this is like the augmented reality part of the app. So you could control part of the app with your hands. It's really weird. I don't think anybody actually uses it. And the way it's set up now doesn't really help that much, but it's really cool to see this technology and it's exciting to see where they're going to go with this. And in the future with the new LiDAR sensors and the new capabilities of the newer iPads, it's who knows how cool the new augmented reality and virtual reality DJing is going to go with this app. And I just thought it is something that you guys might want to look out for. Another thing inside the app is if we go over here, if we go down here, if you could see I'm using a mouse so you guys can see where I'm pointing. We go over here. So we're going to go to the Q point button and then Q. And then right now there is a hidden drop down menu. So if you look over here at Slice, you don't see any drop down menu and it might look like there's nowhere else where we could go in the screen. But if we press over here in Slice and go down, we get skip. Now, I don't know why they hid this feature so deep and hard to find like that, but this is a really great feature to help you guys set up your mixes. So if you want to start your mix, let's say 16 bars in, 16 bars out, you could do it with this without having to manually count. All the other DJ softwares and a lot of DJ controllers have this feature, but it's really cool to have this on the touchscreen on the iPad. And then also, this is where you're going to find the auto mix start and stop. So you could set any songs in your playlist to have a spot that starts, that anytime this song is in auto mix, it's going to start at a certain point, and it's going to end at a certain point. So this is really cool so that you know when a song goes on auto mix, it's going to play the right part of the song and do the transition where you want it. But it's also cool because you could technically make like pre-recorded auto mixes that are going to have transitions. You could do like wordplay transitions and really cool transitions without having to do anything. And I just think it's a really, really cool feature. So now let's go over to Pro mode. So DJ Pro AI is unique because if you press this middle button up here, you have all this ability to switch the type of screens. Because when you're DJing with an iPad compared to a laptop, it might be hard to see stuff, and DJ software is usually really busy. So to be able to switch from screen to screen is helpful. So Pro mode is more like Serato or Tractor, and you have the waveforms up here, and then you have these really cool jog wheels here that give us information. But let's say you don't like the jog wheels. What you could do is you could press. So there's these numbers. There's 2 with a drop-down menu here, and then there's 1 with a drop-down menu here. It's kind of hidden and it's hard to see, and a lot of people don't know about it. But now we have this whole menu that we could do a couple things with. First of all, we could set our slice and skip. I made tutorials about those features. It helps with scratching and it helps with making good, doing cool transitions and beats, and it turns like the waveforms into like drum pads. And it's really cool. And then you could switch from light to dark mode. So this helps a lot when you're DJing in different environments. Like, let's say if you're doing a gig at the beach, it might be hard to see the iPad, hard to see the waveforms and see what's going on. So if you switch on dark mode, you'll be able to get a more defined view of the waveforms with a darker background. And then the next thing I wanted to show you guys is, let's say you don't like jog wheels. Maybe you are used to DJing with tractor, or you just don't need these jog wheels, but you like to see the waveforms. So you could just, boom. Now there's no waveforms. Now there's no jog wheels at all, and we just get this huge view of the waveforms. Really good if you guys are like to use visual cues when you DJ and have a good view of the waveforms. And you still can scratch, and you still could do the same things you could do with the jog wheel, but you're going to do it by moving the waveforms back and forth, opposed to moving the jog wheel around like this. So I just think that's really cool. And then also you could have vertical waveforms. So a lot of other softwares have the waveforms vertical, and in the original Djay 2, this is how the waveforms work. So you might be more used to seeing the waveforms like this. So that is a really cool feature, and you guys should check out by pressing this drop-down menu. Now you can access that. Another thing that a lot of people don't know about is going to be in settings. If you go down here, you could open up the full user manual. So this is what I did. I was bored a couple days, and I read the user manual from cover to cover. And there's some interesting stuff. You can learn some stuff that you didn't know about. Or also, if you're having specific questions or trying to do something and you can't figure it out, the user manual is a great place to look, especially if some things you can't find from videos and stuff online. So having an access to the full user manual is awesome, and it comes in handy a lot. The next thing that we could do that I want to talk about is if we go over here to audio device setup. So now if we have controllers that have limited ports, like maybe the Numark Djay to go to touch, we could switch anything into those ports. So we could have the main output, but let's just say you're not using the pre-queuing. You could set the microphone and plug a microphone into the headphone spot, and you'll be able to use a microphone that way. And then also a booth monitor. Let's say you're using a controller that only has one spot for the main output, one spot for the headphones. Maybe you don't want to use your headphones and you want to use a booth output. You could set the booth output into where the headphones goes, and I found it really helpful, and it gives you more creativity. Also, you could change from internal mixer to external mixer. I got a lot of comments asking if you could do that, and this is how. So I hope you guys learned at least one thing new, and you got some value out of this video. If you guys want to learn more about Djay Pro AI and DJing with the iPad, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. I make these videos several times a week. Thank you.